Welcome to the Ocean Today Every Full Moon Watch Party with host Symone Barkley and special guest co-host, ocean safety expert Bruckner Chase. Today we'll be broadcasting live from New Jersey as Bruckner gives us important tips on how to be safe at the beach and bay this summer. If you have questions during the watch party, type them into the Ask a Question box. And now, let's get started with Ocean Today host Symone Barkley.
Hi everyone, this is Symone and I'm the manager of education programs at National Aquarium located in Baltimore City and your host of NOAA Ocean Today Every Full Moon Show. Welcome to the Full Moon Watch Party. We have a lot of fun planned today and we're so happy to have you with us. Today's topic is beach and bay safety. Let's kick things off with a fun interactive poll. You know, we love to give trivia here on the Ocean Today Every Full Moon Show. Our first question is, you are caught in a rip or strong current and can't get back to shore. What should you do? The options are listed right there for you, so you can go ahead and click the answer that you think is correct. And while you're thinking about your answer, let's have some fun, and we're going to kick off our Wave Safe Watch Party with our very first video that will introduce you to the things you want to know about the water, weather, and waves, okay? So let's get started.
Millions of Americans visit the coast to enjoy the beach. And if you want to stay safe at the shore, it's important to respect the ocean. If you want to be wave safe, you need to know about the hazards, but knowing's not enough if you don't also stay aware and alert. When you drive, bike, or walk to the beach, you practice situational awareness, scanning for traffic, stoplights, signs, and pedestrians to stay safe. To stay safe at the beach, keep up your level of awareness, whether you're on the sand or in the water. It takes both what you know and what you see to keep you safe in the dynamic conditions on every shore. In the Northwest, sneaker waves can pull you into frigid waters. In Hawaii, powerful shore breaks can crush you. In California, great surf breaks can quickly become dangerous waves. Your beach experience stays safe and fun by being prepared for these and other hazards. Every time you move towards the water, you pass through 3 zones: the safe zone, the awareness zone, and the impact zone. Your journey begins at the safe zone, the area where waves can't reach you. Look, watch, and study the weather, water, and land from a safe zone. Closer to the water or on the sand is the awareness zone. Watch for warning signs, flags, and lifeguard stands. Always stay alert to changing weather, waves, and tides. Make an action plan here on how to both enter the water and get back to safety. Where the waves meet the land is the impact zone. Staying safe here means knowing how to safely navigate or avoid potentially dangerous conditions and how to get help when there's trouble. We want you to be safe on any shore, from New Jersey to American Samoa. Before your feet hit the sand, join us as we visit American coasts in the Ocean Today Wave Safe series. Watch the videos, respect the ocean, and stay aware at the shore to keep every visit safe and fun.
Great. So now that we've watched our very first video, we're going to go ahead and review the results of our first trivia question, which was, again, to remind you, you are caught in a rip or strong current and can't get back to shore. What should you do? The options were to float on your back to rest, stay calm and signal to others on shore, don't fight the current but swim parallel to the shore to break the grip of the rip, or all of the above. And from our results, we see that most of the people, most of all of you actually chose all of the above. In the second place, we had a lot of people choosing to not fight the current but swim parallel. But all of the above is the right thing to do. We'll talk a little bit more about this a little bit later. And so on today's show, we are going to show you how to always be beach and bay safe with some amazing wave safe videos from beaches around the country. We are going to be visiting the Jersey Shore and Baltimore Harbor with NOAA National Weather Service partner and professional waterman Bruckner Chase before joining him later in the show on the beach live. So there was a question that actually was popped up that as we're on the East Coast and the beaches are open for 4th of July weekend. And yes, we are on the East Coast and some beaches are open, and we will be talking to Bruckner, who is going to be on one of those beaches just shortly. His passion for the ocean takes him from South Jersey to American Samoa to Australia as a surf life-saving athlete, coach, and instructor, and he has spent time in some of the most exciting and challenging oceans in the world. Welcome back to the show, Bruckner.
It is great to be back, Symone, and it's great that we finally get to do a full show together on something close to me, beach and bay safety.
Yes, perfect. Yes, I'm very excited that we are working together on this today. So we're going to get started with our show. Just a quick reminder before we move on. If you're having any trouble viewing the videos we'll be showing, you can download them and play them back on your own computer from the box below. Just make sure to mute the webinar audio at the upper left-hand corner of your screen where you see a picture of a speaker. We want to hear from you, so if you have any questions for Bruckner or myself, please type it in the Ask a Question box. That's how I was able to see the ones that we just asked a minute ago. You all should know that I love being from Baltimore, and you'll be surprised how similar the conditions are in Baltimore to a beach, even though it's a city, it's not an area where you're close to the ocean right in the city. So you're going to see a lot of similarities between the things you saw in Baltimore and what Bruckner is going to show while he's out on the beach.
And right now, I'm in Upper Township with my home beach patrol, the Upper Township Beach Patrol. So it may look a lot different from the Inner Harbor, but like we're getting ready to show, I hope, there are a lot of similarities. Anytime you're near any body of water, whether it's the Inner Harbor or the beach, you need to respect the water, and you need to stay aware of all the different things around you. There are a lot of hidden hazards, both at the surface of the water and submerged underneath, that a lot of times people don't think of when they first start heading towards the shore. And that's the same as they get closer to the water in the Inner Harbor as well. We want to make sure that we know what's going on around us.
Today, Bruckner and I are starting our beach and bay safe conversation in downtown Baltimore at the Inner Harbor.
Symone, it is great to be here. I'm a big fan of the show, and now we get to do one together.
Yes.
So a lot of times, if you are looking at how to be beach and bay safe at your favorite water, that journey starts closer to home, and often in waterfronts really close to home, like Baltimore's Inner Harbor. A lot of the hazards and dangers that we're going to talk about at the beach, our film crew saw while they looked around the Inner Harbor. We've got jetties and piers, we've got strong currents, we got areas that aren't safe for swimming, and we've got no lifeguards nearby. If you look around, you can see ladders and life rings to help someone if they do fall in and get into trouble, but we want to make sure that doesn't happen, because if you fall in or go in, you're not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting others at risk as well. You've had a lot of experience of people wanting to get in the water in places like these, but it's not a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's not a good option, honestly. There are no signs posted that say swim area or that let people know that it's okay to swim here. There are no signs posted, I wouldn't enter the water. Also, the tide changes within a few hours here, and you might be in an area where the water is deeper and then end up going into an area where it's more shallow. That's not safe at all.
Absolutely not, and we're going to explore a lot of those hazards more closely when we go back to the sand. But right now, remember, beach and bay safety starts closer to home, and let's dive into that a little deeper.
Yeah.
So Symone, I have a bag I take with me to the beach or any waterway. with everything I need in it to keep myself safe, informed, and to possibly help others if they get into trouble as well. One of the first things is a whistle. It's a great way to signal to others and to lifeguards. Always have my sunscreen with me. I have a small medical kit, and I also have an inflatable device because I want to keep myself safe before I protect others. And this is great if I get into trouble or if I see someone else in trouble in the water. What about you? What have you got with you as well?
So I have a lot of the same things that you have, Bruckner. I have my sunscreen, a whistle, a medical kit, and I also have my phone. In addition, I like to bring a water bottle so that I can stay hydrated, and a reusable bag and trash picker so that I can pick up trash as I go. It's really important that we keep the waterways clean because a clean waterway is a safe waterway for wildlife and for humans.
Right, so taking a sub and a picnic to the beach and being able to take all that trash back out with you when you leave.
Yes, so important. Now we're going to go to our next video.
And while you watch the video, I'm going back to the sand.
From Miami Beach to Maine, East Coast beaches are some of the most visited in the world. But just because they are popular doesn't mean they aren't hazardous.
If you want to keep your beach and ocean time fun and safe, you need to be aware of dangerous waves. And that starts by respecting the power of the ocean.
Even a small wave crashing against you has tremendous power. To smaller children, waves that may be only knee-high on an adult can be dangerous and traumatic. If you have young children, keep them close when you're in the water. Any breaking wave can be dangerous, but a wave breaking directly on a steep shore, like this one, is even more likely to cause serious injuries. These conditions are called shore break. Why is this type of wave so dangerous? Imagine the weight of a car pushing down on your head, neck, or back and pinning you against the sand. That is the impact a shore break wave can have and change your life forever. To understand dangerous waves, it's important to first understand what weather can do to waves. High winds from even distant storms can create larger, more threatening waves, even while the weather at your beach is sunny and calm. Another common danger you can find at any beach are waves driving you into hidden objects like shallow sandbars, jagged rocks, and debris. Before going into the water, ask a lifeguard or look for warning signs that may indicate submerged dangers.
The best way to always stay wave safe? Choose guarded beaches. Lifeguards are trained to help if you get into trouble, and they're the best source of information about beach conditions and hazards.
Many lifeguard stands display colored warning flags to indicate the level of danger on that section of beach. If the beaches in your area are not guarded, watch for warning signs near the shore and ask your local host or guides about hazards in the area that could make the waves and water more dangerous. But to be even safer, you should arrive knowing the local weather, surf, and tide forecast for the beach you're visiting. Go to NOAA's Beach Forecast page for more information.
Don't assume you know all the current hazards just because you regularly visit a certain beach. Weather and water conditions can change in minutes, and the tides are constantly changing.
Low tides create shallow water conditions where large waves crash over sandbars and submerged rocks, which can be dangerous if you don't see them.
Perfect. So, Bruckner, you and I were working together, as we were planning our trips to the beach and the bay, because we are, for the purposes of this conversation, even calling visiting the Inner Harbor in Baltimore the Bay, because it definitely does flow into the Chesapeake Bay. So, when you visit the beach, you want to make sure that you know where to get help. Remember to know what beach you're on, come up with an action plan for if something is going to go wrong. And make sure you find safe exit paths and support stations where there's water or restrooms, and check the signs and flags like we saw in the video. So our next trivia question that we have is, what should you do from a safe, dry place at the beach before you move closer to the water? Before you move closer to the water, what should you do from a safe, dry place at the beach? And the question is up for you to go ahead and answer it. It's another one of those that has an all of the above option. And as you are going ahead and answering those questions, we are going to hopefully be prepared to move on to our next video. Bruckner, we want to try again?
We talked about an action plan. We talked about taking a look at the beach around you before you head closer to the water. Right now in Upper Township, we're looking out at the lifeguard stands that are showing yellow flags, which means that while it's safe for swimming, it is a little bit more dangerous than a day when they're showing green flags. We've had the wind pick up this afternoon, so it's a little bit more dangerous.
So I'm gonna just tell the audience the answer to the trivia question. So it was, what should you do from a safe, dry place at the beach? And Bruckner actually just hit on those. It was look for lifeguard stands to swim near, read and follow warning signs or flags about the beach and the water, know the name of the beach you're on, and all of the above. So we are going to go ahead to our next video, actually, and we will see you in a moment.
Now that you know how to be aware of conditions at the beach, let's talk about how to move in and out of the water so that you're not hurt by the power of the waves.
In knee to thigh deep water, turn your hips and shoulders sideways to keep your balance as you slice through the force of the waves with one foot planted behind you to brace against the wave. In water above your waist, the safest place is under and not over the white water of breaking waves. Face the oncoming wave and duck, don't dive, putting your head down and fingers in the sand below. If you are paddling, swimming, or walking back to the beach, never completely turn your back on the waves. Use the same method you use to get into the water as you return to the beach. You aren't safe until your feet are on dry sand.
Well, as you saw in that video, it's really important that you stay safe when heading to. And I usually hear when people are going out to go to the beach, they aren't always, going swimming. Sometimes paddling or kayaking, which is one of my favorite things to do when I visit the beach or any other waterway, even the bay, for example. Any tips for people who will be doing those types of water activities?
So we learned a little bit about more of what you need to do to stay safe on the East Coast. But we talk about always respecting the ocean and the power of the waves. And if your visit to the beach doesn't include swimming, but kayaking and boating, like you mentioned, you want to make sure you're always wearing a life jacket and you're obeying the local laws about being out on the boat, and follow Coast Guard regulations as well, so that you're safe on the water, even if you're not in the water.
Great, perfect. I always wear my life jacket when I go kayaking. That's really great advice. I was also taught that rip currents are really dangerous. Now that we know how to get in and out of the water from the last video we shared, what happens if someone is caught in a rip, Bruckner?
Well, rip currents are something we hear a lot about, and it's one of the most known dangers on all the shores. So we're going to visit Greg, who does the research on rip currents for NOAA, and we're going to learn what to do if you're in a rip current or if you see someone else in trouble. The main thing you do is relax and stay calm, but we'll let Greg tell us what to do if you're in a rip or if you see someone else in trouble.
Great, thank you.
If you get caught in a rip current, you want to know your options. The first thing is to relax. Rip currents won't pull you under, they'll just pull you away from shore. If you can, swim out of the current along the beach and then back to shore at an angle following the breaking waves. If you can't escape, float or tread water while you wave and call for help on shore. But you'll also want to know your options if you're on shore and you see someone caught in a rip current who needs help. First, stay calm and take 10 seconds to think through your options. Alert lifeguards or someone on the beach. If there's no one to help, call 911. Look for a flotation device or anything that floats and see if you can get it to the person without entering the water. If you must enter the water, remember to always take a flotation device. All too often, someone attempting to make the rescue without the proper training and equipment is the one who drowns. Don't be a victim. Protect yourself so you can protect others. Remember to always be aware of potential hazards and that ocean conditions can change quickly. And if possible, swim near a lifeguard. If you make sure to know your options before you head to the beach, you'll be prepared for hazardous rip currents so you and your loved ones stay safe.
Great. So as we saw in that video, it's really important to know your options ahead of time. And, the video was really good at making sure that we understood it's not just about recognizing rips, but also respecting the ocean and the power of waves. So Bruckner, can you speak a little bit about the power of waves?
We need to respect the ocean because often a rip current may be hard to see. Even for lifeguards, sometimes they'll come up really quickly or you just won't recognize the signs. But often at the beach as well, we've got strong, powerful breaking waves that can easily drive someone into the sand or push them into trouble. And one area that we visited with the Wave Safe series was California, an area known not just for large waves and shore break, but also cold water. Sometimes if you get knocked into the water or knocked underneath, you can end up in trouble where you may not have really recognized the dangers ahead of time. So let's take a look at Wave Safe California to see what happens when you run across big waves, shore break, and cold water.
Everyone loves a good wave, and the search for the perfect wave and beach lifestyle seems to have been born on the Southern California coast. These beaches may be one of California's favorite places to play, but they can also be dangerous. Whether you live here or just visit, we all need to start by respecting the ocean. Waves in California can include powerful surf and crushing shore breaks, combined with hazards along the shore such as piers, steep cliffs, strong currents, and unguarded beaches.
You can make sure your beach experience is safe and fun by being prepared for these and other dangers. To be ocean safe, you want to be informed and situationally aware so you can stay calm before you act.
To be wave safe, you need to stay aware of dangers from the sand to the surf. California has an excellent system of warning signs on many beaches. Be sure to take the time to read them. It could save your life. Any breaking wave can be dangerous, but a wave breaking directly on a steep shore, like this one, is even more likely to cause serious injuries. These conditions are called shore break. Why is this type of wave so dangerous? Imagine the weight of a car pushing down on your head, neck, or back and pinning you against the sand. That is the impact a shore break wave can have and change your life forever. California is also known for powerful surf that can be unlike waves you have experienced anywhere else. Even experienced lifeguards have died protecting others in the surf of California. Large waves during high surf conditions can easily break over cliffs and rocks, knocking people off their feet and into deadly hazards below. Even experienced ocean visitors can be overcome by the power of the waves in California, so your first choice should always be guarded beaches for any activity. Lifeguards are trained to help, and they know the local waters. They're your best source for beach information, and the warning flags or signs near lifeguard stands will help you know what to expect at the beach.
Okay, great. So we just came out of that video, and I want to encourage all of our audience members to ask questions. If you have any, please continue to go to the Ask the Question. Bruckner.
Well, as we saw in California, a lot of beaches can look very different. And just because you know one beach doesn't necessarily mean you know every beach. So it's really important to familiarize yourself with the beach that you are heading to. So in California, we saw it's a great place to head out into the water for a surf or boogie board, just like everyone's doing here on the East Coast. But another place we visited in the Pacific Northwest is an area where a lot of people visit the shore with no intention of getting into the water. But in the Pacific Northwest, you find sneaker waves, dangerous logs and debris on the beach, and cold water. Even on the East Coast, cold water can pop up in July if the wind blows really strong out of the west. So while the beach in the Pacific Northwest may look very different from the beach I'm on right now, some of the things that we're going to share with you in that video can apply to conditions you might find here. So let's go and visit the Pacific Northwest and take a look at sneaker waves and cold water and some of the most dramatic coastlines you'll find anywhere in the country.
On the rugged coastlines of the Northwest, even walking along the beach can become dangerous. Whether you intend to get in the water or not, you must always respect the ocean. Along these cliffs and beaches, where sneaker waves, beach debris, and extreme tides combine with freezing water, you must stay situationally aware and never take your eyes off the water to be wave safe.
You won't find many lifeguards along these Northwest shorelines, and these coastal areas can be remote.
Arrive knowing the local weather, surf, and tide forecasts for the beach you're visiting. NOAA's National Weather Forecast site can let you know about local tides and forecasts. Local beach warning signs may provide information about specific hazards for that location. We recommend you don't visit these shores alone, and always know exactly where you are and how to contact a park ranger or a professional rescuer. While you're still in a safe and dry area, experts recommend you spend 15 minutes watching the water to become aware of changing wave patterns and beach hazards.
In areas like this, situational awareness involves watching out for dangers that might unexpectedly put you in the water. Cold water temperatures in the Pacific Northwest can make any immersion deadly.
A hazard you should always be aware of is sneaker waves. These are sudden, powerful waves that can rapidly travel hundreds of feet further up the beach than previous waves. They can cut off your escape path and sweep you into the cold water. What makes them so deadly is that they can be completely unexpected.
Get out of the way! Go! Whoa, that was scary. That's a big sneaker wave.
Never take your eyes off the ocean. And on these enclosed beaches, that means ahead, beside, or behind you, so that your escape path is not cut off by sneaker waves or rising tides.
Wow, some of the footage in that video was pretty scary, right? It was a little bit alarming seeing some of that footage. Very realistic, right? You know, those are real hazards. And I think it's amazing that you were able to in American Samoa. I worked with students in a youth climate action project, and they were from there, a group of young ladies. And I'm so excited that we have that also connection, between the things that we've worked on. So, Bruckner, do you have anything that you wanted to add as we came out of that video?
Well, as we just saw in the Pacific Northwest, we've got some dramatic coastlines throughout the country. And some of these dramatic coastlines, some of the ones that are the most stunning and beautiful, also are the most remote and may not have lifeguards to help us if we get into trouble. So it's important that respecting the ocean and staying aware means that we all need to think like a lifeguard, which means being aware of changing conditions, knowing what the tide might be doing, knowing how currents may change, and being aware of everyone else along the shore with us. So like you said, in American Samoa, it's some of the most beautiful beaches that you will find anywhere in the world. And Aunu'u in American Samoa is a place that I also get to call home. So let's visit American Samoa and see how the village and everyone on the island takes the thought of thinking like a lifeguard to protect themselves, their family, and everyone else visiting and living on the island.
Everyone is captivated by the beauty of the remote islands of American Samoa and the rich Samoan heritage as ocean voyagers and protectors. To protect yourself and others on these stunning but dangerous coastlines, you must always respect the ocean. Pa'alualo ilesami. And be careful whenever you are in or near the water. Faitete ilesami.
Throughout these islands, you'll see steep and jagged cliffs, sharp rocks, unguarded beaches, and pounding surf. Hidden at or below the surface are avas with currents that can pull you out to sea and sharp reefs that can cause severe injuries.
The remoteness of these South Pacific islands means that everyone must serve as a protector for themselves, their family, and the village. In American Samoa, there are no professional ocean lifeguards, so you need to think like a lifeguard. Always watch the water and those around you. If something does happen, be calm before you act to save the lives of others and perhaps your own.
Stay safe and respect Samoan tradition by never swimming off an undesignated beach without checking with a village leader. Deadly situations can develop when people go in the water alone or end up in the water without intending to be there. Waves can easily knock someone off a cliff and over a reef, leaving them trapped against rocks with pounding surf. Currents can then rapidly pull anyone further into dangerous situations.
A first step to being safer near or in the water is knowing how to swim, and more importantly, how to stay calm if you end up in the water when you may not mean to.
The most important skill is being able to float on your back while staying calm. This simple ability may allow you to self-rescue or give others time to reach you. A unique hazard to islands with reef and rock coastlines are avas, where tidal water rushes from the beach toward the ocean through narrow gaps in the coral reefs. These currents can be far stronger than any swimmer and pull them far out to sea. Once pulled out past the jagged reefs, the first thing to do is stay calm. At the same time, stay afloat and signal to others on shore.
It seems like it's really important to know how to float. I've heard that in quite a few number of these videos today.
You're exactly right. Float, stay calm, and signal to someone on shore if you're in trouble. But stay calm and float is a great way to rest wherever you are in the water.
Great. And so we've talked about waves, we've talked about cold water, we've talked about rip currents. But what if I am afraid of sharks? I am not. Symone is not afraid of sharks. I've done lots of work with sharks, so this is just a what if. What if I'm afraid of sharks or some other wildlife that might be in water?
That's a great question, Symone. And on different beaches and at different times of the year, you may find wildlife that might be very painful or even dangerous. And it's important to check and know what you're going to face when you head into the water. On some lifeguard stands, they'll fly purple flags to warn you of stinging jellyfish in the water. In Hawaii, you may see signs posted for Portuguese man o' war or sharks. And some beaches may have rays just below the sand that can sting you as you walk out through the water. So the most important thing you can do is watch for signs, flags, or warning signs, and then always ask a lifeguard before you start to get wet.
Yeah, that's really great. And also, just as we were speaking about, even in Baltimore, we have some of these same hazards. We have barnacles and mussels that attach to docks and piers near our inner harbor. And if you're not careful, you might run up against one of those and you could possibly hurt yourself, like cut your foot or cut your hand. So it's really important to be paying attention to those types of things. A lot of times it's something that you may not even see. And usually the most harmful things are the things that we bring with us, as Bruckner mentioned earlier.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Many of the hazards that can create really dangerous situations are things that you don't see. And if you're not on the beach all the time, like I am and our fellow guards at Upper Township are, you just don't think to look for things like that, which is why we're here trying to make sure everyone's safe this 4th of July and on every beach trip they make after this. Now we've talked about wildlife and some of those hidden things. Often you'll find yourself on the beach and you'll see someone else in trouble. When we watched the video from American Samoa, we talked about Take 10. Greg also shared that concept when we talked about rip currents. And that applies anytime you see someone in danger in the water. Take 10 is what we want everyone to do so that they don't become a tragic second victim. So Symone, why don't we take a look and see what Take 10 means when you're at the beach?
All right.
What if something happens to you or someone else? Keeping yourself safe while also helping others can save lives. When you see someone else in trouble and before you act, stay calm and practice what we call take 10. Pause to alert the lifeguards or someone on the beach and call 911. While help is coming, look for something that floats or will let you reach and assist the person in trouble while you stay safe. The most important action you can take is to protect yourself first so you don't become the tragic second victim.
To have fun and stay safe, always respect the power of the ocean and be wave safe.
All right, great, Bruckner. We're back. So that was really cool. The Take 10 video. Always good to protect yourself.
You're right, Simone. You want to protect yourself to save others because we don't want you to become a tragic second victim. And we've been talking for a long time now about all the things you need to know to be beach and bay safe. And there is a lot to know. And we don't expect everyone to know that. That's what the lifeguards are for. And we also want to give you, though, the resources to learn more. NOAA's National Weather Service has an online guide to beach and ocean safety. Watch the Rip Current Survival Guide to learn more about rip currents, what to do if you find yourself in one, and how to recognize them in advance. And make sure you watch my favorite series, Wave Safe, because you can then visit any beach in the country and some of our favorites. So we don't expect you to know everything, but if you go into any beach or ocean with three main things, we know you can stay a lot safer. Respect the ocean, the bay, or the water that you're going to go and visit. Stay aware at the shore, to changing flags on the lifeguard stands, to the people around you, to the weather, the clouds, anything that's going to be changing dramatically, tides as well. And finally, take 10. Protect yourself to save others is the most important thing you can do because it's going to protect you, the person that is in trouble, and allow the professionals to step in. We don't want you to become a tragic second victim. Respect the ocean, stay aware, and take 10.
Great, perfect. That was a great way to wrap that up. So, Bruckner, we're going to go to our very last trivia with our guest right here. And it is, what should you do if you see someone in trouble in the water? What should you do if you see someone in trouble in the water? You go ahead and choose your answer. The options are, just Bruckner, so you can know what the options are. Take 10, signal to a lifeguard or parent, look for something that floats, or D, all of the above. Bruckner is going to give us the answer in just a moment. I'm going to remind everyone of the question and the answer options, okay? They are, what should you do if you see someone in trouble in the water? Take 10, signal to a lifeguard or parent, look for something that floats, or all of the above. We're going to let Bruckner give us the answer because he is our expert here today. All right, Bruckner, it looks like a lot of people have chosen their answer.
Well, that is good, and I think we've stuck with the theme today. And again, it's all of the above. It's D. You want to do all of those as part of the Take 10. And if you do that, you can protect yourself and others at the shore. Because we want to make sure your best time at the beach stays positive and safe and allows you to come back again and again. Because who wouldn't want to come back here year after year as long as they stay safe and bring their family and friends with them?
Great. That's perfect. And just one last thing, Bruckner, if folks are wondering if it's safe to be on the beach right now, can you just give a little bit of how you feel about being on the beach right now?
Well, all of the beaches, wherever you may go, have different restrictions about how you can visit and when you can visit, when they're guarded and when they're not, and certain procedures you need to follow if you're going to be in crowds and down at the beach. So always check with your local agency that oversees that beach. Follow state or national guidelines from the CDC and NOAA, and make sure that whatever warning signs are on the sand that may or may not just have to do with the waves and the wildlife that you follow. because they're designed to protect you and those around you. We want to keep the lifeguards safe. We want to keep you safe. So check on all the local information for the beach you're visiting and have fun.
Yes, great. That was perfect, Bruckner. And you can see, hopefully, that even Bruckner and I, we were practicing our distancing when we met this week, and we definitely wore our mask as well. So really important to do those. Bruckner gave some really good advice. And so, everyone, that is our show. Thank you all for joining, and we hope that we gave you some really good guidance on how you can be safe when you go to enjoy the water this summer. Please make sure that you let us know how you felt about the show. Please give us your feedback. We really value it. We look forward to hearing how you all enjoyed the show, or if there are anything that you would like to see us do differently next time. So please take a very short post-show questionnaire. And our next watch party is going to be on August 3rd at 2 p.m. August 3rd at 2 p.m. And we're going to be talking all about the ocean we love. So until then, we'll hope that you'll join us on our next full moon watch party. Stay safe.